Hey guys, it's Bro You Wax. So recently I just got back from my trip and apparently there's been some loot box drama. I don't know what's been going on because, I went on my little trip. It's like, okay, so you ever been sick for like a couple of days in like school or something and you go back to school and all of a sudden one person hates another person, maybe like Ashley really hates like Teresa or something. You don't know why because you've been gone for so long. You've been bedridden. That's kind of like what's been going on. So I try to catch up what the whole drama was. It's not really drama. It's just like people wanting Blizzard to change how the loot box system works because with this past event, it's been announced that this is probably the most expensive event that's ever gone out of the 6 events. Yeah, I think it's been a total of 6 events because of all the legendary skins. Now, my first impression of the legendary skins is like, oh my god, there's been so many legendary skins with this event. That is so totally awesome because that's my favorite part in events. So of course, I'm gonna be hyped about that. But some people are kind of disappointed because they bought a few loot boxes, they've been playing a lot of Overwatch, and they still haven't been able to get those skins that they want. And well, you can just use the credit, but the thing is, they cost 3,000 per skin, so that's where a little bit of drama is coming into play, and where they want Blizzard to just change the loot box system. Now, for this video, I do want to talk about some possible changes to the current loot box system, but also be very sensitive towards both parties, i.e. the Blizzard party, and also the people that are getting really pissed off at this current system, the people that feel like they're getting gypped, that they're getting, scammed because of the current anniversary system. I can see why they're getting really irritated by this because with the previous events, maybe they just had to play a few games, maybe they can buy a few loot boxes, and then they can just easily buy the legendary skins because there is only a few of them. Well, now there's so many of them, it's like, well, this is the most expensive and I can't keep up with it. The only way that I can do this is buying the loot boxes, and I think that's where people are getting really mad. But you guys have to understand, and also this is where I'm kind of being sensitive, like not trying to be too arrogant, because not everybody's blessed enough to be able to pay for loot boxes, or buy loot boxes rather. Not everybody has the budget to be able to buy all these expensive things for a game that they really love, and that's where they get a little bit disappointed. Now for me, this is sort of like my job in a sense, if you even want to say it. So yes, I was able to pay for loot boxes, but I'm trying to be understanding because even on my Smurf account, if I want to be somewhat relatable to the people that aren't able to get these legendary skins, it's taking me so long just to get to even 3,000 credits because, well, I don't have these duplicates or anything like that, and with the current system, I can't get all these credits. So here are where some possible changes could come into play to change this current loot box system to be a little bit more fair to the people that, one, doesn't pay for loot boxes, or even two, play Overwatch a bunch. Unlike me, who does play Overwatch every single day, this is just some changes that could benefit you guys, but also just benefit the whole entire Overwatch community. So a common theme that I'm seeing as terms of a problem is that we're not getting enough legendaries out of these loot boxes. So two common solutions I'm kind of seeing like throughout the whole entire Overwatch community is either A, give us more loot boxes where we don't have to pay for them, or B, give us less duplicates so like we're not getting screwed every time we open a loot box and we're getting a duplicate of an item that we already have, or even maybe a duplicate of an event item that we even have. And while that's all good and fun, this is also where I want to be sensitive towards Blizzard, because not many people like to think like this, right? But you have to understand, Blizzard is a company. What they're trying to do is trying to make money, and the way that they make money, i.e. pay for these employees that's giving us free content, such as skins, such as events, such as maps, such as heroes, putting in man hours rather, putting in all this work and time and effort into a game where they already sold a game, but they're not making money through like DLC, like how they can through Battlefield, like they can through Call of Duty, or even Red Dead Redemption to an extent. They're not selling us DLC, so the way that they do this is by selling loot boxes, and that's how they're able to pay these employees. So if you're gonna say, oh well, just give us more loot boxes, give us more challenges, or how about every win that we get in 3v3 we get a loot box, the problem with that is the cause and effect, because yes, that does help us. That does help us as the community get more loot boxes, i.e. get more legendary skins, but that kind of screws Blizzard out of being able to pay these employees, being able to put food on the table for their families. So they make money through loot boxes. If they give us the opportunity to earn loot boxes, which they already do every time you level up, every time you get through 9 wins throughout the whole entire week through the arcade, you get a free loot box. So if they give us more opportunities to get loot boxes, that means that we're not going to be paying for more loot boxes. I just had to explain that because, again, not everybody thinks about, Blizzard and having to pay these people for their jobs. This is how they employ people. If we don't buy loot boxes, well, they're kind of screwed, and they can't provide us more free heroes, more free maps, and so on and so forth throughout the whole duration of Overwatch. But that doesn't stray away from the fact that it sucks opening maybe 20 loot boxes, 50 loot boxes, or even 100 loot boxes, and maybe you get 2 event skins or something. You pay all this money, and you don't really really get what you want. Maybe you do get some duplicate money or whatnot. So this is where it changes just to the loot box system comes into play, where it doesn't screw either of these parties, but rather just benefits them. Maybe more or less just one party, maybe just the people that are buying these loot boxes. This is where some changes can come into place. So the number one thing that I just feel like they should have just done right out the get-go is have duplicates, maybe even event duplicates, give you more than just 200 credits. The duplicate ratio versus actually buying them is just stupid. Why are you gonna have something that costs 3 times more credits, but a duplicate of that same event item costs the same as a legendary? It just doesn't make sense. Every time you get maybe a legendary maze skin, the beekeeper, and you get a duplicate of that, you get 200 credits, but it costs 3,000. You might as well just get a duplicate of the regular Hanzo skin or whatever. So that's something that they need to change. Give you maybe 600 credits for every duplicate event item, and even if you open an event loot box, every duplicate maybe just increases 3-fold, not even just event items. So that's something that I feel like they just need to do. It just makes sense, but I don't know why they haven't implemented it yet. The next one is something that it looks good on paper, but actually doing it in game, I feel like it would just kind of screw up the whole entire Overwatch just process or whatever. So something that people want are challenges, right? Whenever you go into arcade and you win 9 games, not in a row, just 9 games throughout the whole entire week, you get 3 total loot boxes. So people are wanting challenges similar to that. Maybe you get 30 headshots with Hanzo or something, or maybe you get 10,000 heals with Mercy. That sounds good on paper, right? Well, that means so many people are gonna want to play Hanzo. So many people are gonna want to play Mercy. So it's not really gonna influence people to get the win. It's gonna influence people to get the loot box challenge, and in turn get those legendary skins that they're hunting for. So again, challenges might work sometimes with certain heroes, like maybe getting 50 headshots with Soldier 76. You should already be getting headshots already, but again, that's going to influence people to play Soldier 76, and then they're going to leave the game if, hey, Soldier's not available, I don't want to get the win now that this guy's taking Soldier. So it's just one of those things that's like, yeah, it's going to work, but maybe right at the get-go, but over time, it's just going to cause people just to only work towards loot boxes and not really towards the win. And that's the crappy part about it, is that yes, that may help a little bit and it would be a great idea, but overall it wouldn't be executed right, because it's just going to influence people for a not so team-oriented goal, i.e. trying to get the win in a competitive game or just even a quick play game, because they're focused on a different goal. Now the third idea I kind of saw somewhere in a comment, I don't remember where, but I thought it would just make the loot boxes just a little bit more fair, because when you open a loot box, it's literally just a dice roll. There's no guarantee, there's no nothing, there's no, okay, well I opened 20 loot boxes and I didn't get a legendary, next loot box is going to be a legendary. It's not really guaranteed like that. There is a system in the game where if you go on this streak without getting a legendary, you're most likely going to get a legendary, but sometimes you just get lucky, like with me. I got 3 legendaries in 1 loot box and I wasn't really due for a legendary by any means. I just got lucky. So this change would make it a little bit less of a dice roll. So here's what it is. So pretty much you have a designated spot for each item category. Since there's 4 spots in a loot box, maybe the first spot, which is the farthest left side, could just be something simple like a player icons and sprays. You know, stuff that people really don't care all that much, and that's kind of less expensive, right? What a spray is 25 credits, and an icon, you can't even buy an icon, which that's another change that they need to do. I feel like you should be able to buy icons for maybe like 10 credits or whatever. Now the second kind of loot box spot, where the second coin is on the left middle part, it could just be a voice line and a victory pose or whatever. You know, it's a little bit more expensive. People sometimes care about that, but not more or less. They don't really go for that per se. Now the third spot, it can just be straight skins. Every time you open a loot box, you're guaranteed a skin. No more getting 3 voice lines and a spray. No more getting, you know, 50 credits and 2 voice lines and then a player icon. None of that. Every time you open a loot box, you get a single spray, whether it's an event skin or just anything. Every time you're gonna get some sort of skin, period, in the third spot. Now the fourth spot can be literally anything: a highlight intro, a victory pose, a skin, a player icon. It could be a little bit more dice roll in the fourth spot, but here maybe you can even get a second event skin or something like that. This way you're guaranteed a skin and you're kind of guaranteed more of the lower level items, whereas in previous loot boxes you can get all lower level items. So that just reduces the fact it's like, oh my god, I got screwed, I got gypped, I hate loot boxes, I'm never playing this, I'm gonna go jump off a bridge, I hate my Now those are just some simple ideas for just making the loot box system a little bit more fair. But remember guys, it's free stuff. This is all free. It's all cosmetic. If you look at a game like Call of Duty with supply drops, they're putting actual guns in those supply drops. They're not putting heroes. They're not putting maps. They're not putting anything that gives gives you a bigger advantage in game. They're literally just skins and literally just sprays and anything else that makes the game even somewhat a little bit more cooler and unique to your own play style. And I think that's what's so great about the loot box system. But again, some people feel like it's unfair because they can't get those cool items. Well, this way it's a little bit more fair with those changes that I kind of suggested. But I want to hear you guys' thoughts. So I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. More Overwatch videos to come, and bye.